Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zarel. Let's get to it. So today we're doing the deep dive, codenamed Illuminated Cap. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. Stage 1 of the deep dive has low oxygen, alien eggs, and morkite. Alien eggs, of course, you're going to look for that organic matter on the sides of the level and dig in towards the pulsing red light. Morkite is just like any other crystallized mineral. You're going to use your pickaxe to get it. And low oxygen means that the air is toxic in this level, so you need to stay close by to where there is a supply of oxygen, which in this case is the drop pod, the mule, or a resupply pod. So most of the level you're going to be close to that mule, unless there's a resupply somewhere that you've called in. Now, while you're looking for the morkite, you're also going to look for gold and nitro at the same time and throughout the deep dive, as it will help you out. Gold, of course, will give you credits at the end of the deep dive. Nitro will keep you flush with ammo and health throughout the deep dive. So both useful for different reasons. Now, once you have all the eggs and all the morkite, it's time to move on. Hit that button, call in the drop pod, and make your way out. Now, as you're making your way out, because it's low oxygen, you're going to want to stay close to the mule, because you only have about 1 minute of oxygen in the tank on your back before you start suffocating. So it is very important to stay close to the mule, at least in the short term. Once you're full on oxygen, you can be away from the mule for about a minute. But you have to, within that minute, get back to the mule so that you aren't going to suffocate. So follow those posts that the mule leaves behind and catch up to it, which is completely possible to do. And we actually lucked out where the drop pod wasn't that far away from where we called it in. So we would have been able to just run straight to the drop pod and not have to worry about it. Now, this is a good time to point out that the deep dive is a 3-stage raid-like environment where you can play by yourself with your buddy Bosco or with up to 3 other players, either pre-made or match-made. So that's it for stage number 1. On to stage number 2. Stage 2 of the deep dive has elite threats, liquid morkite, and a black box. Elite threats means that you have a random enemy that will spawn more boss-like than the rest of them. You'll know because they'll have kind of a red glow to them and they'll say elite. So you'll know right away that it is the elite version. They move faster, they have more hit points, and they do more damage. So obviously point them out to your team and take care of them as soon as you know that they're there. Now, the black box is a zone control, and the more people that are in the zone, the faster it goes. The fewer people, the slower it goes, and if nobody's in the zone, then you're going to lose progress quickly. If you get to 0%, you're going to fail the deep dive, and you'll have to start over from stage number 1. Now, you're going to have hordes of enemies coming after you while you're in the zone, and you want to prevent them from getting into the zone, not because they're going to impede your progress, but because they're going to try to take you out. So survive the swarms of enemies however you can. Watch out for those elites, since they'll do a decent amount of damage and take a lot of damage. Once you get to 100%, then you can concentrate on that other objectives. Unlike other stages, you've got 2 mandatory objectives instead of 1 mandatory and 1 optional. Now, Liquid Morkite, you're not going to have a mule, you're going to have a rig. So you have to drop everything in the rig versus having the mule that you can drop your minerals into. It's gold and nitro once again. There are no regional minerals. You're going to be building out, looking for the geysers of Morkite, call in the pump jack, and then once you have the lay of the land, so to speak, then you can go ahead and fill out the framework from the rig to the pump jack, and then build the actual pipe from the rig to the pump jack. And you're going to do that for each of the 3 geysers that are going to be on the level. There's always 3. That they haven't changed that in a long time, so that is the way it is. Now, just because things weren't difficult enough on this level, they went ahead and sent a dreadnought our way. We got a notification early. It said, hey, we got something big on the radar. Get ready. And then, pow, there it was. So, a kind of like a third objective, taking out the dreadnought. Now, hopefully, you and your team won't have a dreadnought show up on the second stage, but be aware there is a possibility that it'll happen. There's a possibility that it'll happen on any stage, but it's exceedingly rare. So, the fact of the matter that we got one means that we were extremely unlucky, or it was by design and there may be one on the level for you. Now this time around we got the Hive Guard, which has an immune phase where you can't do any damage to it. You have to look for the Sentinels, which are kind of mini Praetorians, and take those guys out. Once all the Sentinels are taken out, then it'll go away from being immune and just being shielded. It'll have these 3 little protrusions on it that you have to take out. Once all 3 of those are taken out, then it'll be ready to do the damage phase. So do as much damage as quickly as possible before it goes immune again. And then once it goes immune, just rinse and repeat. Look for those Sentinels. Try to get into an area that's more or less open, so you don't have to worry about the Sentinels or the Hive Guard either cornering you or sneaking up on you. And if possible, maybe have a couple members of your team still working on objectives, and then of course a couple people are going to have to deal with the dreadnought. Once the dreadnought's taken care of, then we're able to focus on the objectives. Now once the black box is taken care of and all the pump jacks are piped, then you can start pumping. At some point you're going to start leaking liquid Morkite and the progress will stop. So you'll have to repair the lines anywhere that there is a leak. Once the line turns green, it's good. Once all the lines are green, it'll start to progress again. Once you're at 100%, call in the drop pod and make your way out. Now because it was kind of the level that wouldn't end, we also had an elite detonator that came after us. specifically me, detonators in and of themselves are exceedingly dangerous. Elite versions even more so, if for no other reason because they have more hit points and move a lot faster. So the chance of a detonator spawning on your level is relatively rare. You're maybe gonna see one, more than likely not. And for one to spawn as an elite threat is even more rare. So, I mean, we were just hitting all the lucky buttons on this particular level. But once the drop pod gets in, make your way over to it and get out. You only have 3 minutes, so don't dilly-dally too much. Now this is a good time to point out that everything carries over from one stage to the next. That's traversal tools, grenades, ammo, health, and whatever's in your pockets. So if you're not able to drop stuff into the mule, into the rig, into the drop pod, whatever the case may be, you can always carry it over to the next stage, unless you're on stage 3, and then of course you'll want to drop it in. But that's it for stage number 2. On to stage number 3. Alright, stage 3 of the deep dive has no modifiers, which is a nice change of pace from the previous 2 stages. This time around, though, we've got crystallized morkite and a dreadnought. Now, having just survived dreadnought in the previous level, we're already ready for the dreadnought on this one. This time around, we got the Glyphid dreadnought, which goes immune, shoots fireballs, spawns swarmers, has a shielded stage and a damage phase. Plus, it does a little pound just like oppressors. So just be aware. We also ended up having party crashers of other bugs while we were dealing with the dreadnought. But just like any dreadnought, when it is vulnerable, when you're in the damage phase, do as much damage as quickly as possible to take that dreadnought out before it goes immune again. Rinse and repeat, and you're done. Now, just like the first stage, we're doing crystallized morkite. You'll need more this time around, as it's the main objective rather than the side objective. But once you have all of the crystallized morkite and you've taken care of the dreadnought, you're ready to get out. Call in the drop pod and leave. Now, the main reasons, of course, to do the deep dive are the experience from doing the deep dive, the credits that you get from doing the deep dive and grabbing extra gold, and then, of course, those matrix cores, which is probably the main reason you're going to do the deep dive, which gives you weapon skins, cosmetics, and weapon overclocks. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
Excellent. Drop pod inbound.
What's this?
The wave is significantly diminished. Well done, team. Drop pod has arrived. Retrieving the mule.
Whiskey.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Let's get out of this hellhole. Rock and stone in the heart.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
Good old drop pod. Zipline done. Killer be killed. Resupply ordered.
Supply pod launched. Better stand back.
Resupply ordered.
Nitro has been withdrawn and supply pod is inbound.
Resupply.
Mule is secured. Initiating launch sequence. Deep Rock Galactic thanks you for your good work. Drop pod will leave with or without you.
Place.
Supply pod requisitioned. Launching now.
Resupply you.
Stand back. Supply pod inbound.
Rock and stone.
Extraction commencing. Good work.
Go! Rock and stone to the bone.
PlayStation